am Dr. Lisa Wicker, and we're ready to get started.
Are you ready to be a success? Master your career, you're a success. Do you believe it? A success. Come on, let's be a success. See, are you ready to be a success? She's a career master. A success. A success. A success. A success.
Good morning. I am Dr. Lisa Lindsay Wicker. I am ecstatic once again to be here with you. We started a little bit early today. We're about 2 minutes ahead of time, but I always say if you're on time, you're late, and if you're early, hey, it's good. So let's get started today with what we consider to be our inaugural program for HBCU Queens. We're truly excited to bring to you four wonderful, fabulous women that are doing outstanding in their fields of choice as they continue to matriculate through college. Today's program is our celebration of Women's History. I'm sorry, of Black History Month. I have women on my mind because that's coming next month. So we're ecstatic to celebrate Black History Month with you. And let me tell you a little bit about why we are here. Again, Career Mastered is a women's publication. We have been in business since 2018. We are about the business of women compelling themselves to do well in the marketplace, but we also are about paving the way for the next generation of women. We've done that since 2015 as a company, but as a magazine since 2018. We're now global. We started in New York, Detroit, and Charlotte as part of our mission to advance women's leadership. And now today we have over 200,000 impressions around the globe. So we're ecstatic that we have invited our special guests to be here with me. I will bring them on shortly, but I want to make sure that all of those that would like to join us are doing so. And to make sure that you have an opportunity to chat with us, I'll personally be watching the chat. We want to also thank our men allies for joining us because you too make a difference in what we do and how we go about the business of growing women in their leadership. So let's get started. I'm going to bring on our special guests, and then I'll tell you a little about them each. Let's bring on Miss Tuskegee, Miss Alabama State, Miss Jackson State, and Miss Allen University. Hello, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Career Mastered Magazine live show. We're streaming live here on LinkedIn, but it is also connected to Facebook, to YouTube, and then after this show, all of your friends, family, and colleagues will be able to review this show if they didn't get to be with us today. So let me bring on the reason that we're here, and then I'll talk a little bit about what we're going to get into in terms of a discussion. And so the Career Mastered I Am Her signature program was created to ensure that we consider and continue the very important work to advance women's leadership. And we're making a path for the next generation of young women leaders, typically on college campuses or in high school. Part of our mission is to empower the next generation of builders by telling her story, by honoring her value in the marketplace. And so through a suite of strategies that includes virtual learning, webinars, campus tours, scholarships and mentorships, business clubs, and convening support from our past honorees, we believe that our connection to you allows us to help you use your capacity to the fullest. And so welcome to the show. And then I'm especially pleased to present and highlight and celebrate Black History Month with you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And so I'm going to talk just a little bit more, and then we'll get into our questions, okay? And so let me explain to our audience about the historically Black colleges and universities and why it is so very important to the rich heritage of America, our nation, okay? And so I'm especially pleased to present and celebrate the highlights, young women, to highlight you, who wear the Miss title. I love your crowns, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They look fabulous. And, one of these days I'm going to have to try one of those on, because that it looks like it's even heavy, but it's gorgeous. Absolutely. But let me just say that historically Black colleges and universities are institutions of higher educations in the United States that were established before the Civil Rights Act of 1964 with the intention of primarily serving African American community. Most of these institutions were founded in the years after the American Civil War and concentrated in the southern United States. Having grown up in the South with my own four siblings, all right, all of whom attended HBCUs, I just let you know that I know the importance of these institutions because without them, my siblings would not have been able to go to school. That is really the truth. For me, I ended up at Michigan State Universities. I have to say, go Spartans. But I absolutely know that being the youngest of my five siblings, right, the four of them led the way for me to know that there was no doubt that I was going to attend college. I had no choice. It was absolutely instilled in my household that education was important. But for growing up in the South, which I'm from Mississippi, hello, I know how important HBCUs are. In fact, it actually means a lot to the educational and wealth of closing the gap for Americans, right? African Americans. And so without HBCUs, it is likely that, like I say, my siblings would not have gone to college. Today, we have currently more than 100 HBCUs in the nation. And we know that the nation needs colleges and universities more than ever since look at the pandemic and what's happening within the world today. So I thank all of you that are watching and those that know about HBCUs that you support us. And Career Master Magazine is doing so much to ensure that women like myself can share with you what success looks like. And then women like yourself can share with the next young woman what success looks like, right? And so that's what it's about. But let me just share with our audience before we really get into it is this magazine right here. Does this look familiar to you, ladies?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You are featured in this. This is our celebration of Black History Month with Career Master. So I'm showing it to the audience. This magazine has the most gorgeous pictures of you that highlight a story about your campus and your school, but more importantly, the very real importance of HBCU. So let's give a hand to Black History Month. We're celebrating. Yes, absolutely. And thank God for allowing us to feel and be connected to our heritage, right? And so let's get into the chat, ladies. You ready?
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
So what I'm going to do, since there are a few of us here on the line, I'm going to talk with you about your career, your successes, what motivates you, and your inspiration for getting your education and then showing up as a leader because you wear the crown Miss Tuskegee University, Miss Alabama State, Miss Allen University, and Miss Jackson State University. That is nothing that I will take lightly. I consider it showing up and showing out. Let's go, showing out because you did not get there on your own. You had to receive the nod and acknowledgement from your campus that you are a leader. So congratulations to each one of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So let's get started. And what I would like to do is ask each of you, first of all, I'm impressed with you. And I'm sure you didn't ask me to be, but you're impressive in terms of what you've done. And again, congratulations on your Miss title. So please tell us, our audience, your name, your school, your major, what your classification is, junior, senior, and a little bit about where you are from. So let's start with Miss Tuskegee. We're going to go around and do this.
All right. So good morning and greetings. I bring you greetings from Tuskegee University. I am Jasmine McCullum, a graduating senior chemical engineering major from the rockin' city of Tupelo, Mississippi. So I do relate to a Mississippi girl.
Mississippi proud.
Yes, ma'am. And I love Mississippi and I love being in Mississippi. So,
Awesome. And so tell us again what your major is.
chemical engineering.
Right. All right. Thank you. And Miss Alabama State University, would you give us a little bit about your background, name, major, and so forth?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I am Kendra Angion, a senior secondary education English language arts major hailing from the historic city of Selma, Alabama. And I am the 82nd Miss Alabama State University, held in the birthplace of the Civil Rights Movement, Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh my gosh, yes, for sure. I've been to Alabama a number of times. I was actually on the board of trustees for Stillman College. And so I've spent a lot of time in that area flying into Birmingham. So, hey, congratulations to you as well and welcome. And Miss Allen University, would you tell us a little about yourself, your major, your school, and your classification and so forth?
Okay, hello everyone. Greetings. I bring you greetings from Allen University. My name is Nastasia Harrison, and I am a senior sports management major hailing from the small town of Aiken, South Carolina.
Wow. And so what's your major again?
Sports management.
Sports management. Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you and welcome to the show. And
Thank
then there's Haley from Miss Jackson State University. Introduce yourself
Yes,
and give us your background.
Yes, good morning, everybody. I'm Haley Coleman, a senior journalism and media studies major from Clinton, Mississippi, so I can get down with the Mississippi girls as well. And I currently serve as the 82nd Miss Jackson State University.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to quickly do this because I want to give credit where credit is due. And we're just going to quickly ask Tuskegee, who's the name of your president?
Dr. Charlotte Morris, the
Awesome.
greatest.
Awesome. Miss Alabama State, who's the name of your president?
My president is Dr. Quentin T. Ross.
Awesome. And what about you, Miss Allen University? Who's the name of your president?
President McNeely.
Can you say that again?
Dr. President McNeely.
President McNeely. And what about you, Miss Jackson State? What's the name of your president?
We have President Thomas Hudson.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let's give a shout out to them. I'm sure that they're leading very well, and I always like to acknowledge who's really making things happen on your campus. And so we give credit where credit is due. Now, you have been selected the queen of your university, the Miss title. Tell us why this is important and what is your role while wearing the crown. So let's start with you, Miss Alabama State.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I am delighted to be Miss Alabama State University. So the whole purpose of the crown is I really get to serve my university through my platform. My platform is Going for the Gold, which GOLD is an acronym for Greatness Obtained Through Leadership and Determination. So I get to serve my community and I get to serve my university on a bigger platform. And it's honestly an experience like no other. I just put my own sprinkle into things as a queen before me, and everybody has their mission and everybody has their plan and their platform. And I think it's just so special that I get to share with the world my platform, show my love for my university, show my love for my community. So, and I love being an advocate for students. So I'm a representative for the university who also serves the university. So we wear many hats.
I love it. Thank you so very much. And Miss Tuskegee, would you also tell us why being Miss Tuskegee is important and what your role is while wearing the crown?
So just as Kendra said, we wear many crowns, I like to say. As Miss Tuskegee University, I do stand on the platform of empire, and that is excelling each one of my classmates and my peers to know that there's an empire behind them. There's people that are encouraging them to help them reach their goal. In addition to, I am a spokesperson and representative for the university. So I handle all university business in which they call upon me, in addition to helping be a game changer in policy and pushing forward to the next generation of Tuskegee graduates and Tuskegee students, and building and cultivating an environment that each of them will love to come back to, love to be here, and retain that student engagement and population.
Wow. You know what? You guys make me want to go back to college. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Miss Jackson State, why don't you tell us why you wear the crown and what your role is? Why is it important?
Yeah, so my role as Miss JSU, I serve as the face of the university, and like my other sister queen said, representatives for the students. My platform was Cold World, and it was a play on my last name, and the acronym actually stands for consistency, opportunity, and lasting excellence. So I want to make sure that I'm consistently showing up for my university, showing up for my peers, providing them with growth opportunities, community service opportunities, and just leaving that lasting impression on everybody that I've touched throughout my reign, continuing the legacy that was before me of previous queens, and then also adding on to a future legacy of people that will come after me.
Wow. Wow. I'm getting chills, ladies. You guys are just making my day. It's actually making my week. Okay. Miss Allen University, tell us your story as why is it important to wear the crown and why, what role you're playing.
So one of my components of serving as the Allen University, being the face of the university well, and actually understanding our motto of the university, which is teach the mind to think, the hands to work, and the heart to love. But actually implementing that into my mission was to be unique, outstanding, and to be you, to be very authentic, because I just give you a backstory a little bit, a rundown of when I went to homecoming, and little girls that look like you, that actually want to be an HBCU queen one day, that actually want to wear the crown and to wear many hats as you, and being in different organizations, doing different things around campus, being a student ambassador, just to, be able to be your.
Can we hear, are you still talking?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it just cut off a little bit. You
Okay.
said being able to be yourself, right?
Yes, ma'am. Just to be able to be yourself authentically, to be able to be an advocate for students on your campus, and to be able to lead with influence.
Wow. So I'm inspired by you all, and I can't imagine that others aren't. So let's just first of all say hi to our audience. Hi, Gary Jen. Thank you for joining us. Felita Falk. Hi, Brenda DeForest. Thank you for joining us, Tisha Hammond. And looks like we have Cassidy Connolly, who I know is in high school, but she's watching you today. Zanelle Brown. And those women and people here today, and men, are here. Brenda DeForest, we're just so happy that you're following us and taking in all of these gems that these young women who are leaders in their own right sharing with us today. So continue to chat in the chat, and I'll try to make sure that if you have a question, I can ask the young ladies as we're talking here live on LinkedIn. And so let's just talk for a minute, ladies, about the history of your university. Miss Tuskegee, how many queens came before you?
So we have had 91 queens before me, so I make the 92nd.
Oh my goodness. And Miss Alabama, what about you?
81. So I am the 82nd Miss Alabama State University.
Look how you snap that up. Miss Alabama State University. Okay, I'm gonna have to really give me a crown so I can just do that. Absolutely. Okay, let's have it, Miss Jackson State. Which one are you?
Yeah, so me and Kendra are twins. I am also the 82nd Miss Jackson State University, meaning that it was 81 queens before me.
Wow. And last but not least, let's go, Miss Allen University.
So before, we had no idea who was, the count of Miss Universities. So I had recently found out in my term, we had 88, and I am the 89th Miss Allen University.
Wow. So let's use that as the next platform for our question. This is about history, ladies. This is about Black History Month, and it's also about historically Black colleges and universities. Tell us why you made the choice to attend an HBCU, and what's been your experience, Miss Jackson State?
So me attending an HBCU is actually a kind of a funny story. I went to Clinton High School. That's where I graduated from. And at the time in 2018, it was not a lot of students like me who had decided to go to HBCUs. I think it was like 10 of us in our graduating class that had declared that we wanted to pursue an HBCU when it was about 300 of us graduated. So it was very, very small. Jackson State, it was right down the street from me. When I was applying to schools, I wasn't necessarily applying to a specific like kind of school. I was just trying to get the best fit for me. So I took a visit, came to Jackson State, and when I was on campus, I just fell in love and I could really just see myself here. And so once I declared that I was coming to JSU, that's when I started to look more into the history behind the school, the history behind HBCUs, and it just kind of put it in perspective for me. Because like in my high school, we weren't pushed to go to HBCUs. We didn't have that culture and that type of excellence around us. So once I made my decision, that's when it just put things into place that I'm a part of history, and a great history at that.
Awesome. Awesome. These questions are coming in, ladies. All right. So I'm paying attention to you, but I'm also kind of looking at the questions. So let's hear what you have to say about that, Miss Tuskegee.
So just like Haley, I went to a rural county school in Mississippi, and so in my graduating class, I was the only one to declare to go to a HBCU. My exposure to HBCU was not great at all. My auntie was a graduate, but she it wasn't prominent in my family. So I took a leap of faith in going to attending Tuskegee University, and I tell you, I do not regret the decision at all. Majoring in engineering, Tuskegee has a world-renowned engineering program. Over 80% of engineers in the country come from HBCUs, and majority of them come from Tuskegee University. So it's an honor to be here. In addition to, my journey to Tuskegee started with a summer bridge program. So it started with mentoring into engineering, in which I ended up declaring that chemical engineering was going to be the route that I took. And so I actually had a really great mentor here, Toya Dean, who I will always recognize. I think that's probably the most person I recognize in all of my interviews, is because she took the time to really foster the Tuskegee field, the Tuskegee family, and instilling in us, whether we went to Tuskegee or not, or we major in engineering or not, that we matter, that our lives matter. Being Black in America, we can be successful at any time, any capacity. So that just drew me closer to Tuskegee, and I haven't looked back since.
Awesome. And what about you, Miss Allen? Thank you for sharing that. Miss Allen?
So, back in high school, it wasn't a lot of people that looked like me. So I just knew I wanted to go to an HBCU to be around people like me that had, the mindset to be driven, to go out, everything they wanted to achieve in life. And, coming to Allen University, it was a close knit. Everybody knew each other on campus. You get into the classroom, you have that one-on-one attention. And coming here, I was originally signing for volleyball, and then I ended up being a dual athlete. So I run track and field as well. So I became on a full scholarship ride.
Wow.
Other universities, but it just didn't feel like home. So being on campus, getting that one-on-one attention with my professor, with my coaches, being able to have a family and to bond with people and to make memories that'll last on campus, doing different things as far as opportunities and things that I foresee for myself for the future, was just something that I was geared towards and going forward in my future endeavors.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. And next?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Kendra. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm really finding it interesting because my sister Queens and I kind of have similar stories, like related to high school and the rural high school area and the HBCUs not really being celebrated. So that's very interesting to know. But that's the same for me as well. I'm one of the very, very, very few that graduated and declared to go to a HBCU. So growing up, I've always had the influence. I would probably give reference to my parents about exposing me to the HBCU world. Growing up as a little girl, I used to watch A Different World, and I was like, wow, that's, watching him, and like that was a really amazing place. And so I say going into high school, I already had my mind made up, like HBCU, mainly because my parents, they graduated from HBCUs. My dad, he went to, it's very funny, our school rival, Alabama A&M University. So right down the road. And my mom, she got her master's degree from Alabama State, and my dad got his master's and doctorate degree from Alabama State University. Okay. So growing up, I actually grew up on Alabama State University's campus. Before I moved to Selma, they were both in the doctoral program and master's program. So my sister and I, we were just at Alabama State University at the daycare. Yeah. And so I never would have thought I ended up at Alabama State University because, growing up all these years, you want to go somewhere else. Yeah. So they were a big influence. And because they're big in the college of education, it was like, it's just perfect. And I know a little bit about Alabama State University, HBCU. It was just written in my heart, no doubt. I have aunts that went to Alabama State University in the 60s, participating in the civil rights movement. So I guess the HBCU bug, it was just in my blood. I'll say that. And I'm a big history person as well. So yeah. Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So our foundations matter. And as we're talking, others are joining on. We have a big crowd here today, honey. Frida Green, welcome. Shirley Russian, welcome. Lisa Nichols, welcome. Zanelle Brown, welcome. Like, hey, they are here to support you. Congratulations, ladies. Let's talk a little bit about your career. I'm going to go with one of the questions from our audience here, Gary Dent. I believe his question, if I can find it, was what is your career aspiration? And then what will you support the university after graduation? So I'm going to start with you, Haley.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I am a journalism and media studies major. I have a concentration in integrated marketing communications, and I'm really passionate about public relations. So I'm aspiring to work in the public relations field after I graduate. And not only will I become an alumni, I will be a giving alumni as well. So yes, Gary, I will be supporting my university in every effort that I can once I graduate, and am hopefully working woman in the career field.
Awesome. What about you, Miss Tuskegee?
So just as Haley said, I will be a giving alumna. So I am very much so proud to say that in order to keep an institution running, we need our alumni to give back. So always, if you're alumni watching, please give back to your institution, which helps us, queens like us and students like us, because at the end of the day, we are students first, to keep advancing our education. So post-graduation, I will be a chemical engineer working for Procter & Gamble as a research and development engineer for upstream technology for Charmin Ultra Soft.
Wow, congratulations. You ladies are doing it. All right, Miss Allen University, what is your aspiration, and are you planning to give back?
So my aspirations are to become a sports agent. As now, my major is sports management. I'm looking to get into the NFL, NBA. At first, growing up, I really didn't see any, Black female sports agents. But as I started looking at Coleman and all the other great people that came behind her, she was one of the first to do it. So I was just like, if she can do it, I can do it as well. So I've been looking into some sports agencies, actually applied for the Thurgood Marshall NBA intern. So I've been getting some feedback on that as well. And then I'm interested in politics. So I've now just started interning with Congress James E. Clyburn. So I work at his office district here in Columbia, South Carolina.
Wonderful. And of course, Miss Alabama State, tell us about your aspirations and whether you're going to be giving back.
Yes, ma'am. So my major is secondary education, English language arts. So I'm going to school to become an English teacher. And I come from a teacher family. My parents are teachers. My sister, she just graduated from Alabama State University, history teacher. So yes, ma'am. I guess teaching is another thing that's in my blood. And of course, I plan on giving back to Alabama State University. I love Alabama State University, and I just want to grow up and see it flourish. And also, I plan to invest in the next queen and queens behind her. Start a nice program to make sure our queens are heavily supported, and not just monetary funds, but physical, spiritual, mentally. So yes, ma'am, I plan to get back to my university as long as I live.
Yes, well, our audience is saying you ladies are doing it. Congratulations on everything that you're doing. Our future is in your hands, ladies. That's what they say. So they're excited to see you continue to impact and it says the world in your future careers. So we have some great support. And so, audience, I would like you to know that these ladies are doing it. Certainly keep up with Career Mastered and what we're doing with the HBCUs. Today's celebration is about them as a part of our Black history, as a part of what we have seen pave the way for them. So ladies, let's tell us a little bit about Black History Month and what are some of the activities that might be going on your campus for celebration, and what does it mean to you? And I'll start with you, Miss Alabama State. Let's start going back around. Let's go.
Yes, ma'am. So Black History Month, it's a month of reflection of our roots. So being at an HBCU, Black History Month is a huge thing. As Miss Alabama State University, I have the honor of putting together a Black History program. So yes, ma'am, it's coming up towards the end of February, to sum up everything, to sum up our history, our Black history, Alabama State University's history. And I just love it because it just gives, especially with my platform, it gives me the chance to help other people reflect. And also the world, Alabama State University, one of our saying is, when we do things, the world takes note. So basically, once we put things out there like Black history information, we're not only feeding into the minds of our people, but feeding into the minds of people that don't even look like us. So, we're educating. Black History Month is all about educating our own and others about our roots and our history.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And what about you, Miss Allen University?
I think to piggyback off what Alabama said, it's amazing to do things within my community. As far as on campus, we have different that we do, and I get to attend and judge. So I go back home and I participate in the Black History Parade back home and here as well. And then we have the Harambe pageantry and things like that. So we do a lot of things on campus to make sure that people know that their roots and know that, what they come from and learn about their ancestors and what we can do as a Black community to help inform people about things that's going on as well.
Wow. And so why don't you share with us as well, Miss Jackson State Haley, what's going on there?
Yeah, so we have been celebrating Black History Month since February 1st. Next week, we actually have a student-led Black History Month convocation. So I'll be speaking, Mr. JSU, SGA president. We're really taking the hands approach with making sure that will go well. A lot of our student organizations as well have been putting on some really creative events to get campus engaged. And then I actually started this initiative on our social media page where I want to highlight our past Miss JSUs because they are an important part of our Black history here on campus as well.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And Ms. Tuskegee Jasmine.
So Tuskegee University embodies history itself. A lot of times Tuskegee has been front runner of history. So during Black History Month, we are highlighting Tuskegee. One platform that you can actually catch a lot of our history is Tuskegee in 1 Minute series, which is found on our university page. In addition to, we have a month-long life series on Black history and contribution Tuskegee has done in addition to other history. In addition to, we will be having a Black History Month program. And then on top of that, we have, of course, social media challenges on Black History Month. So I'll be active just as my sister queens and all my hands in pots everywhere. So awesome. That's what we will be doing for Black History Month.
Awesome. So engaging our audience, they are on to your conversations, ladies. Zanelle Brown, who I believe herself is an attorney, says educating and ourselves inspires action that uplifts us all. Thank you, queens. We have Nataka Harrison, not sure, says yes. Oh, is that your mom? Yeah. And yes, love our Blackness. Hi, Mom. Your daughter's doing well. And Ladrina T, congratulations to you all. Frida Green, to all the queens, let's do it. And it's so good to see these ladies. Our future is bright. So let's continue our conversation and let's talk about the mentorships that perhaps you've had. First, tell us, are you a mentor and who has been your mentor? And what are you doing to make sure that you are helping other young women? And then I'm going to talk about, we need to talk about one other important issue of Black History Month. I'll go back to that. But let's talk about mentorship and what does that mean to you? And what are you also doing for others? So we'll start with you, Miss Allen University.
I just gained another mentor for my sports management major. So in the NFL, they only choose 32 participants to the program, and out of like 230 people that applied, I got in. So
whoa, that's a clap, ladies. That's a clap. Yay. All right.
And my mentor, her name is Vanessa Hutchinson. She has helped for me, especially applying interns and jobs postgraduate as well. And then I believe on campus, my mentor, Ms. Smith, Dr. Hart, my president as well, different people that helped me get into different things, opportunities, as far as different businesses that I foresee that I want to get into in the future as well. They're such a big help because they reach back and help people, and that's what I want to do as well. So I do mentor a few people that, would like input. So that's been really different because, you never know who, see you on campus, walking, going about your day. And, they like how you carry yourself as a woman and doing different things on campus. And then they see you going out into the world, doing the things that you want to do. And they see that and they want to be just like you. So, you can reach back and help people do the things that they want to do as well. So I always reach back and help people that need it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And what about you, Haley, Miss Jackson State University?
Yeah, so I was just talking with my mom the other day. I was telling her that I'm thankful for the friends that I made and that I'll take with me, but I'm especially thankful for all of the faculty and the staff that I've made connections with here while at JSU, because they've really been like family to me. They've taken me in, mentored me, and so I can't even name, a couple or one because but I'm definitely thankful for all of the help. Miss Jackson State, Nasa Lynch, the 80th Miss JSU, she was Miss JSU when I was Miss Sophomore, and I really looked up to her. She definitely mentored me and inspired me to go ahead and run for Miss JSU myself. And so I want to make sure that I can be that role model for young girls who come after me. And like Miss Allen said, whoever needs the help, I'm definitely willing to help them.
Wow. Well, I like how that, played for you, that she mentored you and you saw her proven success. And then here you are, following that footstep by becoming Miss Jackson State as well. Why don't you tell us, Miss Tuskegee, about your perspective?
So, I mean, it's kind of funny even that you say this. I've had so many mentors, even from my freshman year, because I did serve in the capacity as Miss Freshman. So I was able to get mentors coming into Tuskegee University. My mentor, Eunice Ford, he has mentored me financially. He's mentored me physically, mentally, and inspirationally. I've had a mentor, Miss Karen Dyson, who I absolutely adore. She is a director of Gillette. So anything you see most of the time that comes out of Gillette pretty much comes through her. She's a really big person at Tuskegee University. I mean, not Tuskegee, but Gillette. And she's a proud graduate of Tuskegee University. Not only is she my mentor, but she has molded me into the person that I am today. So I have to give her a huge shout out, especially on LinkedIn. I have to give her a huge shout out because she has truly helped me professionally. She is an alumni that I inspire to be when I graduate. She has started many scholarships, has supported the College of Engineering very vastly. So I truly appreciate her. And just as you said, our faculty and staff, our administration has immensely poured into me. So I can't name just one person on campus. From the Office of Student Life, thank you so much, to Student Affairs, to the President Office, to Alumni Affairs, Ms. Kimberly Holland. It has been so many people that have poured into me. And just like I stand on my platform, Empire, it takes an empire to raise one student. So that's why I wholeheartedly stand behind that, because not just one person can take full credit for making you and bringing you where you are. I think that's one thing that I truly appreciate about Black culture, is that it's not just one person behind you. You have a whole line of history. And in the Miss Tuskegee aspect, the 89th Miss Tuskegee, Courtney Alexis Landrum. Oh my goodness, I love her. She was my Miss Tuskegee when I was Miss Freshman. She mentored me, helping me become a queen and actually stepping into the role as Miss Freshman. And now as I'm Miss Tuskegee, she has helped me, as well as the 80th Miss Tuskegee, August Haygood. She has been there every step of the way, mentored me with sorority business, Miss Tuskegee business, alumni business. So I truly would be here all day.
I love it. You mentioned so many things like sororities. Okay, so what color am I wearing? Okay, so anyway. All right, so at the end of the day, Miss Alabama, you got that too? Oh,
yes,
all right. Haley. See, that's what I'm saying. Okay, now I can talk. Y'all AKs? Oh man, I can't believe. Okay, we're not going there, Miss Allen, but we're gonna stick with you. I know. At the end of the day, we love all our sisters, and the good news is, what I hear you all saying is, it's really about women supporting women. And so, Miss Alabama State, who's been your mentor?
So I recently just gained a mentor through my internship. I'm a student teacher. So my cooperating teacher, I just feel like it was a match made in heaven, because she's really poured into me spiritually, on a spiritual realm, and as, a teacher, a future teacher. So being a future educator is serious business.
Yes.
You're in charge of different little lives, and you never know what they go home to and what they're coming to school with. And honestly, I've learned that in that profession, whatever happens at home has to stay at home, because you're in charge of a whole, you have hundreds of kids you have to look out for every day and give them that same love. Not everybody, has the mother's love or father's love. So you have to be all of that in one, as well as their educators. So big shout out to Mrs. Cassie Rogers. Also, with being a mentor myself, at Alabama State University, I'm starting a mentoring program. I actually started a mentoring program, and today, since thank you, since we're still virtual and transitioning, today is our first in-person meeting. So I'm so excited to see everybody in the flesh and meet everybody. The whole purpose is called the Hornet to Hornet Mentoring Program. So basically, I've paired freshmen and first semester transfers with upperclassmen. And so I've also paired them with their likes, different activities, their majors. So when they look back, they'll be like, hey, this person helped me to succeed in the College of Education, the College of Business. When I was a freshman, my Miss Alabama State University, Ariana Thompson, I had the pleasure of being in her mentoring program. And it really helped me, because the young lady that I got paired with, Shamil Talbert, she was really a blessing to me. And she also guided me through Alabama State University. So shout out to all of them. And hopefully as a queen, I can do the same with my platform for someone else.
Awesome. You guys are bringing up so many things. So mentoring is in my heart and soul. That's what I do. I started a nonprofit, and as I mentioned to you, it's called Excel Village. We have given over $30,000 in scholarships, and we always look for mentors. So hey, we are doing it on Zoom now, so we can talk offline. In fact, Cassidy Conley, who's on here, is in that program. Every Tuesday night, we talk about STEM, which is, as you know, what that is. And then we've added the component FAB, it's finance, arts, and business. So we work with the girls on STEM and finance, arts, and business. So, hey, hats off to you. Now, one of the things I want to talk about in terms of Black History Month is voting. One of the questions from Gary Dent says, do you believe that voting is important? Do you vote? And what do you do to help make sure others do? So we'll do a round one, and we'll go back to you, Miss Allen University, and then we'll go around, okay?
So, working at the Congressman's office, District 6, I have this research project I have to do, and the bills that was trying to get passed was the John R. Lewis bill.
Yes.
And what Clyburn was trying to do was, get voting rights approved everywhere and all over. So just to research that, piggybacking off of the different researches that we've been doing in the district, and getting people to know that voting is crucial to our time, to bridge the gap between my generation and the older generation, to let younger people know that your vote counts. It matters, and you should learn about the history of why voting was established in the first place,
Yeah.
and to be a voice as well for other people who can't advocate for themselves. And
Yes.
that's really what we do at the district as well, and getting to voting rights as well.
Yeah. Well, I know much about it because I'm right here in North Carolina, so I'm not that far from you. I'm in Charlotte area. And what about you, Miss Tuskegee? What's your opinion about voting?
Voting is very important. Important. Your vote actually matters. A lot of times, as young adults, we don't see the importance because we don't see the direct change. But voting actually matters. I've been in several voting drives in Montgomery, especially when it came up to the previous presidential election. I am truly a advocate for Black votes, because ours matters. And your ancestors spent a lot of time getting their votes suppressed. It took a lot of time for them to fight for voting rights. And a lot of times they were doing, education, intelligence tests just to vote. And now that you have the right, you must take advantage and take heed of it, because every vote counts. Especially when it comes to not just presidential elections, but also just like laws that are passed,
Yes.
city, county, and state laws. Those laws are based on what you vote, and if you don't vote, just like in sorority, silent is consent. So therefore, you must vote.
Yep. Well, I tell you, you guys, I'm actually sitting here, um, somewhat emotional, but I'm also getting chills because I am just beaming at where you are in your thought process. And it just inspires me to know that we're leaving all of this in your hands and you've got it. So tell me, Miss Alabama State, your thought on voting.
Yes, ma'am. Voting is very, very important to me. Like Jazz said, I'm a big advocate for voting. Growing up, I've been around my grandmother, my dad's mother in Wilcox County. So she's actually a civil rights activist in Wilcox County during her prime, during the 60s and so on. And so growing up, I've always heard those stories about how she was turned away or given the runaround for voting. So her house is actually, it was actually a station where people can pick up voting information. So growing up, I just heard of how she did everything she could. And she's featured in a lot of magazines and different interviews. If you look her up, her name is Rosetta Angion. And so you'll see a little bit about her. But yeah, so she always told me, I interviewed her myself because I was like, wow, I have a little piece of history with me all the time. So I asked her, like the importance of it. And she was just like, what she went through, like she was so excited to see Obama and, all of the other historical things that have happened since. And basically she realized that what she did her younger years in her 20s and her 30s, it actually makes a difference. So when you can see the fruits of your labor, it's so powerful. So voting is very sentimental to me.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, I grew up in Mississippi, like some of you, and I grew up in the '60s when there was the time of color folks fountains and white folks fountains, and I grew up in segregation, and so I understand it personally, right? But at the same time, I understand the importance of what the voting did for me, because by the time I got 14, there was integration, right? I actually was a product of integration in Mississippi, right? So I just want you to know that history is not too far from you.
No.
And so while you're talking about your grandmother, and probably could be one of those, but at the end of the day, I just know that hearing you talk about this really matters. And so, Miss Jackson State, give us your perspective.
Yeah, so I agree with everybody else. Voting is very important to me. I'm a registered voter. I vote in my local elections, state elections, presidential elections. And just like my other sister queens mentioned, I hear a lot of people my age, and I see it a lot on social media, where people feel like why should I vote? I'm just one vote. My vote doesn't count, but your vote definitely does count. Voting is a right, not a privilege. We're owed the right to vote. So I believe that we owe it to those before us as well to go ahead and carry out our right, because it was a time where it wasn't as easy as just waking up and going to cast your ballot. So we
Yes.
should definitely vote. Very passionate about voting.
Yeah, I'm just in awe. So the comments are still coming on. Hi, Lindell. Thank you for coming on today. We're almost running out of time. And I wanted to ask some other questions that we're not going to get to. So I will tell you this, if you're interested and you want to come back before you graduate, all of you all, and I think we have a senior in Miss Tuskegee, I believe we have a senior in Miss Alabama State. All of you are seniors. Is that all you sister queens are seniors?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is a year from now, we need to come back together to figure out where you are and what you're doing. How about that? All right. So for now, we're going to have some two fun questions, right? Two fun questions. We're going to come down off the seriousness a little bit. And one of our questions, and I believe it came from Gary. He's into it. I love it, Gary. He says, who has the best marching band?
We do, because we're the first.
The Mighty Marching Hornets.
We don't have to. Tuskegee doesn't have to get into the foolishness.
No, we have the best band.
They wouldn't be here without us. So
I love it.
No.
You know what? I think he knew what we were going to get. Okay, so let's just start here. All right. The Tuskegee Marching Band says they're the best. All right. And then the first. Okay, the first. And then, all right, Jackson State, I know where you are. Okay, the boom, the sonic boom. All right.
We got the best band.
And then Alabama State, I know you got your thing going on. And Alan, let me just say, I love having fun between the sororities and the marching band, because that's Black history.
Yes.
That's Black history. I mean, when I was a little kid growing up in Mississippi, and I remembered we had parades all the time in the streets, and they don't do that in the North. So not like we did in the South, right? In the South, you had a parade for Christmas. You had a parade for every game that was homecoming, and the bands would take over the streets. I mean, when I was a little kid, I remember the drums used to make my chest feel like it was coming out, right? So those are things that we can cherish, right? And so
I can say walking behind. So actually at Tuskegee, the way that I come into all the football games was right behind the band. So I can tell you, I could feel the band, like that just sets you into the mood to really just stand a little higher. You're behind the Marching Crimson Pipers. Like you don't play with the Pipers. So I can truly agree. That band and that band atmosphere is truly all of us, and I know we love our rivalry, but I can say the band is a heart of HBCU culture. That music, I think, is Black culture. I think music is nothing but Black culture. Music today wouldn't be what it was without Black people, especially coming from Mississippi, knowing about B.B. King down in Greenwood.
I was raised up on B.B. King, let me just tell you.
Yeah, so I can truly say Black history, that band, that's the one.
That's it. Well, I got to tell you, we're going to talk one more thing. In fact, as we get ready to leave, I'm going to allow you to tell us what do you do for fun? And then I have my last question. So what do you do for fun, Miss Jackson State?
I am a big movie and TV watcher. If you name a TV show or movie, I've probably seen it. I have just about every streaming service. So I definitely love discovering new content. And then I'm also really big on TikTok. I am a TikTok person. I can scroll on hours for TikTok and get lost. I'm really big on content. And just spending time with my family, with my pets, things like that.
Okay, all right. What about you, Miss Allen University?
I like TikTok as well. I binge watch every show that comes on Netflix, any little show that I can really get into and watch. I'm a big movie person. I like to make jewelry. I like to read and write poetry, stuff like that.
Okay, well, yeah, we have that in common. I told you guys I just wrote my third book, so I'm a writer. And what about you, Miss Tuskegee? Jasmine, tell me about fun. What do you do for fun?
Oh, I do a lot of things for fun. In my senior year, I've actually taken up marketing. Well, not marketing, but more so like graphic design. I have I have a niche for graphic design. More so, just in my spare time, just making things look good. I also am. I really like to get my nails done. I like to get my toes done. Like I really love the whole just having like a lazy day because when you are a queen, this you have to cherish the moments that you can do absolutely nothing. Okay,
I believe that. I believe that. And what about you, Miss Alabama State?
So if y'all haven't noticed by now, I'm a talker. So I love to talk with people. I am. I love to shop. I love to travel. And I also love to try new foods. So if you follow me on social media, I know a lot of y'all do. All y'all see me is going to different restaurants, going to different cities, and I just scan my food. I'm like, just give some people some examples, some new food places. So I'm a foodie, and I like to try new foods and travel.
Well, I appreciate having fun because I'm a person that likes to have fun. But how do you want people to follow you? If you want us to follow you, you can put it in the chat and people can follow you, especially as it relates to your HBCU crown. You can put that in the chat. And then we're running out of time, so I'm going to write one last question here. And the last question is really about what I call the career mastered moment. So I will ask you to make sure you're following Career Mastered on every platform, making sure you connect to us because there's so much that you can offer in terms of helping to advance women's leadership. Okay. I've gotten so much joy out of just having the girls chat today with you and the queens chat with you. That's what I call it, the queens chat. All right. And then at the end of the day, I'm asking you quickly to leave our audience with one word of inspiration. It's called the Career Mastered Moment. And so, what is your advice for the next young girl that is heading to college who wants to master her career and navigate the college life experience? What one inspiration would you leave her? So let's start with you. We're going to start with you, Miss Jackson State Haley.
My advice would be to be authentic. I feel like being yourself can get you in a lot of places. It's nothing better than being yourself, being to yourself, and really just being ambitious and confident.
I love it. I love it. All right, Miss Allen University, and will you actually pronounce your name for us so that everybody will get it right?
It's Natasha here. And one word of inspiration, mine was authentic. 'Cause that's kind of like my mission. But really, to network, I believe in networking, knowing people because a lot of times it's all about and getting into what you're trying to do. The business side of things. Networking is very keen to getting to where you want to be.
That's true. That's true. Thank you for that. And Miss Tuskegee University, your perspective and career mastered moment.
So I'm gonna give three things. My first thing is to remember who you are and remember where you come from, and never forget to pull up people as you go along. Your journey will not be your journey without the people you bring with you. Two, always keep God first. Because what God has for you, no one can take away from that. No one can no one can stand in your path. Whether any hiccups that you have in your path, it will always lead to that final destination. And three, networking and remember that you're Black and that you do matter and that you deserve to be in every room that you're in. So.
Awesome. In fact, I need to give me pencil and paper. I need to take some notes. All right. And last but not least, Miss Alabama State, would you tell us, Kendra, your thought?
Yes, ma'am. So I have a quote from one of my inspirations, Miss Maya Angelou, and her quote is, "Nothing will work unless you do." I'm going to repeat that. Nothing will work unless you do. Everywhere, each and every one of us, everywhere where we are right now, we have to work for it. Yes. Nothing is ever given. The spiritual realm, praying, you have to pray for it. Everything. So nothing will work unless you do. And honestly, once you work for something, seeing the fruits of your labor is really you know, it's a relief. It's a real relief. You love it, even cherish it even more than rather than someone just giving it to you. So
Right.
during the trials, during the tribulations, just, you know, tell yourself, just hold on a little while longer, because the finish line, you can get to look back and see everything, and everything works out for the good. So there's a reason for everything, every little trial and tribulation. Now I'm telling you guys this too, because it's senior year, and I know we come to some bumps in the road as queens and as students and as people in general. So nothing will work unless you do just keep moving forward.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you, ladies, for being with us today. I really wish we could talk longer. The time went longer than I expected because we're having great convo and we have so much engagement that I hope after this show you get the chance to go back and answer some of the questions that people ask. But let me say from my heart that I truly admire each one of you for who you are and just the small time that we've been together. I have no doubt that you're not going to get to that there. And as my grandfather used to say, attitude plus aptitude equals altitude. And I don't have a doubt about your altitude because you're already halfway there. All right. So thank you for being here. I can't wait to see your star continue to rise. Congratulations to each one of you as leaders, as women leaders, as Black women leaders. I thank you for what you do to represent. And then congratulations to your presidents on your campuses. I want to give a hats off and heads nod to them because without their capabilities to have that platform there for you, you would not have had the opportunity. So congratulations. And I'm going to have you leave the room. And then I'll remind our audience that this publication, the Career Mastered, I Am Her HBCU Queens Winter Edition, features each one of these women. And we'll see you next time. Bye
Thank
now.
you so much.
Thank
You
you
all
for
have a
having
great
us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So- Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that each one of these girls have done an outstanding job, and I want to congratulate them for being with us today. It's been my pleasure to host them, to talk with them, to just get the gems of what they're saying. It was amazing. And so I hope that you would share this live taping with some young woman, some young girl that might just need to hear what is being said, how it's being said, and then they too will show up as Miss Queens and understand that today's opportunities are just a stone throw away, that you have to show up in order to receive. And so thank you again for being with us. And we hope that we'll see you next week as we have our next guest with us. Thank you again.